the head of the physics department around to give speeches. And in those days, Bob doesn't travel like he used to, but he traveled with the head of the physics department. In fact, he actually, because he was on a tight budget, actually drove the head of the physics department. They went mostly to the Northeast, Dartmouth, Yale that year, about 6 different schools, and there was a contribution made and everything. And the final school, I think it was Princeton, in the physics department.
Great memory.
And well, I was in Ted Turner's book. And like the story with the boat driving, Bob was driving the professor around, and as they're pulling into Princeton, New Jersey, Bob turned around and he said, you know, Professor, this is about the 7th time I'm going to hear your speech, and I pretty much have it memorized. I could probably give it as good as you give it. My timing is impeccable, and I know the material. And the professor said, okay, I'll tell you what, pull over, we'll change clothes, and I'll put on the chauffeur's cap, and you get up there and deliver it. And that's what happened, and he did a great job. Bob stood up there and he gave the speech. I think the topic was astrophysics, and he was talking about quantum and the black hole and all this equations, and he's got a mind for math. And so that's it. He does the speech great, and he turns, it's about over, and he thought he got away with it. And the head of the Princeton Physics Department comes up and says, wait a second here, Professor. We have a tradition here where we open it up for questions. And we're going to open up. So the first question, a young graduate student stands up and he says, Professor, I'm all confused because you gave the equation for the metrics to determine whether or not the distance from Jupiter is such and such, and you got it all wrong, and I don't understand. And how come the theory has been disproven? And don't you know that that's not the case? How do you explain the discrepancy between what you said and the theory that everybody knows? And so Bob, you know, pauses, and he says, you know something, I've been giving this speech for 3 months now, and I'm really surprised. I come to Princeton, and you asked him to, he says, that is such a stupid question. My chauffeur in the back.